Hello, everyone.
Around the table, I think most of them are Kim Possible and even Steven's.
Yes, and she liked my jeans. She liked my
What could be better?
She liked it. I know. Thank you so much. I'm Shigo vibes. I regret not doing it. Oh, it's okay. No worries. Hello, everybody. Hi. Oh, Comic-Con's been very quick. I went to some fun parties, and then last night I decided I was a grandma and I stayed home for resting. And I went to the FX, What We Do in the Shadows party. Oh yeah. I dressed like full-on vampire, and I did not get the memo, and no one else did, and that was embarrassing. But I was like, I'm gonna play this off because I don't get out much, and I just want to have a good time. So that was fun. And then I went to right after that I went to the D23 Tron party, and I had a blast dancing, and I had a blast. So yeah, this morning I came, and it was a very early morning because we wanted to make sure everything was set up properly. This is my first time at San Diego Comic-Con. Oh yeah, I've never been before. Thanks. No, it's massive. Like, we do Comic-Cons all the time. Like, we do Fan Expo, and we've done Wizard World back in the day. So those are very different. Yeah. And there's always like hiccups and like little things, but this is like a well-oiled machine, and it's like just huge. Like, I can't even. So no, I can't really fathom it, and I'm just here for it. I'm here for it.
So for fans who haven't actually listened to the podcast yet, can you talk a little bit about it?
So I Hear Voices is a podcast that I co-host with Will Friedle from Boy Meets World and so many other things. He's also an amazing, iconic voice actor, and I'm so proud to have him as a partner. We've launched this after doing Comic-Cons together and finding that there was a void in the podcast space for, communicating to people our enthusiasm and excitement for like this world, this community. And so like we came together and decided to do the podcast so that we could give people an opportunity to get to know the voice behind the character. And so yeah, it's been growing, and then like today we had like 1,000 people like in a room, and it's only been like 4 months since we've been starting this, so it's getting big.
Yeah, it really is. So since the start of the podcast, there's now been, what is your reaction to the now finally like getting recognition for voice actors, voice directors, writers? Because now it's blowing up, especially after the pandemic. How's it been like for you?
For me or for the podcast?
For both. For you, the podcast, and just a wide spectrum of finally voice actors in general finally getting recognized.
For sure. So like I've also done the on-camera stuff, and so I just was saying that it's sort of weird for me when people recognize me for Kim Possible, but they know my face. And so it's like so many voice actors, they don't know their face. But for me, for some reason, even people that may know me, like it depends on your age, but you've known me as Kim Possible, but how do you know my face is the question. It's because subconsciously you guys have seen me pop up in random places, but I'm like on the more recognizable side of an actor who really only did that one big character, whereas someone like Will has done a ton of characters that you don't even know about, and you still know his face from TV work. So it's kind of this weird thing of like imposter syndrome, where I'm like, okay, well, I'm not like done as much voice acting work as some of our guests have, but at the same time, I know that this character is really all that matters. And like a lot of people have started binge watching Kim Possible because of the 20th anniversary that just happened, and so it's on Disney Plus, and so like there's new generations of people that are coming to the Comic-Cons with their little girls dressed up as KP, and so for me it's extremely rewarding, but it's all coming down to the art form and the storytelling, and of course I think that the animation itself is just stunning, and even though it's 2D, I think she's still like, she's just as good, and she's three-dimensional as a character too. She's not just like, I think she was one of the first Walt Disney Studio, she actually is the first collaboration between Walt Disney Studios that like hand drew Belle and all the Disney princesses and Disney Channel. So that was like what set it apart from any other show at the time. And so when they brought it to me and they showed me her picture, I was like, oh, this is going to be big. Like I can tell just by the way she's drawn that this is going to be a big show. So that's kind of.
So did you just confirm that Kim Possible is 100% Disney princess?
Oh, 100%. She is like, and that's the thing is people ask me like, well, what do you want to do? You know, what is the one character you want to play? I'm like a Disney princess, but I'm like, she is the unsung Disney princess. Like, cause I love Moana. I have 2 daughters, and so like when I watched Moana, I was like, oh no, like that's the Disney princess. You know, Belle is my other favorite Disney princess because she's the literate one, and she reads. Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of, you know, I don't hate on any of them. We're in an Ariel phase in my house right now. One of my daughters is in her villain era. She's like loving on Ursula, and she wants an Ursula birthday party, and she loves the hyenas and the Lion King. And I'm like, okay, but like they need to learn lessons. You know that, right? But I think what it is that when kids are attracted to the villains, it's because they're empowered and stuff like that. So I'm trying to understand this villain era that my 5-year-old is having.
Oh my god.
So how has it been working with Will on the project?
Very peaceful.
No, that's not what he said.
He said nice things about you.
Good.
Totally. Didn't say you were like
Very peaceful. He's a lot of fun, and he makes me laugh, and I think that's really important when you're, you know, this close all the time. There's just a collaborative energy that he has, and we're doing everything we can to build this up because it's a very grassroots podcast, and so the more community engagement we have, you know, I'm sort of the social media arm and the branding person. That's how we collaborate in that regard. But he's the one that's bringing in the street cred of all these people that he's known for so long, and I just couldn't do this without him. So I'm very proud to have him, and I know he can't do it without me. So
exactly, because you guys started this like with no like endorsement.
no endorsements. We still haven't even recouped. Like, yeah, I mean, we just announced that iHeartRadio is our partner, and so we have not been doing this for the money. We've been doing it for the fans.
That's so amazing, honestly and truly. That's how you know it's good, because the genuinity that's.
Oh yeah, we're trying, we're doing it, and we're just doing it. Like no one's gonna, you know, deter us from doing it. We're gonna keep doing it. Exactly. I think that's why it's growing so fast.
So if we did Kim Possible revival where Kim Possible and Ron are adults, what do you think that show would be like?
I think that Disney has a choice to do a continuation, in which case, like with the Proud Family, I saw how they treated that, where she like woke up one day and she noticed she was a little bit older, and she noticed she was like a little different. She kind of looked in the mirror, and then she kind of winked and then like walked on, and it was like a continuation. Like I think in cartoon world, you know, people, like especially kids, if they're gonna watch Kim Possible from the beginning, they're not gonna see that much of a difference unless they completely try to change the animation, which I don't know if they need to. They didn't with Proud either, and it's going on to its 2nd season, and it's doing really well. So I think we just do a continuation. I don't know if it's a direct. I think they're probably in college by this point.
Yeah.
But if for some reason Disney chose to make them parents, I think that could happen too. But I don't know. I think a continuation is more safer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Like I think it's safer that way.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
I think I have all of my questions done. I don't want to let you go.
I know, we're like, hello.
Like, let's make a TikTok.
We're down. We all love TikTok.
Your TikToks are really hilarious.
Oh, thank you. I'm always like, Jesus, what am I going to do today? I tried to do the weird wavy thing, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we got it. We did it. Do you know the one? It's like, it's a wave
a
effect.
filter,
And then it goes,
and you
don't
turn.
move, and it just moves your butt for you. It's very funny. I love it. I'm like trying. I'm like, yeah, thank you. Thanks for your support. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, so like I moved here when I was 8 from Bulgaria, and Kim Possible was like the first TV show I watched here
Oh, good.
when I moved here.
Oh,
So
that's amazing.
It was quickly like my favorite thing, and then obviously even Steven's was
Good. Okay, good. Those are good. I approve. Yeah, even Stevens was, like, when I look back, though, some of the humor is crazy.
Yeah.
So some of it's like innuendo and stuff, but I don't think it was, like, he has a podcast where he's going back, and, like, since it was, like, a little bit earlier, there's some things that they said and did where they're like, oh, we wouldn't handle things like that now. I don't know, I haven't done a watch of Even Stevens, but I'm sure there may be some problematic things. But even then, with Even Stevens, we tried to really we tried.
Yeah.
I think they did some really slapsticky stuff, like innuendo-y stuff.
Yes,
Definitely some innuendo-y stuff. But I think that was where it kind of began and ended. They tried to be very like even back then. I remember them trying to be inclusive. Yeah. Time has changed. Time has changed.
So how's it been like, because we grew up with Even Stevens, and how's it been seeing the fans, like, they essentially grew up with you, we all grew up together. How has it been seeing like the fans still have that love?
It's very touching. You know, I'm a brand. I'm a content creator. I'm trying to understand my role in that. I never did that before. So like back in the day, I didn't understand what it meant to have a stylist and a publicist. And so I faded away in terms of being in the public eye. And I went to college and like I lived my life. And like I learned so many lessons along the way. I didn't think about what was happening to my fan base because I just kind of left my fan base alone. And so when I started doing content creation and understanding that people wanted to hear from me, but in a way that was really personal, I felt really, really empowered. So I've been in this like nosedive of love for my community, either online or through TikTok, where I've had a lot of growth and I feel very like kindred to all the people that are there. I'm always commenting like all the time on all these things and people always like laugh about it. But really though, like I've had a second act in this social media space where I can actually have my own say-so, and I'm not, you know, I'm my own like producer, I'm my own everything, I'm my own boss, and I'm lucky enough to have a producing partner in my husband, and so everything is very in-house, and I own all my own cameras, and I've learned so much that, you know, I wouldn't want it any other way. I wouldn't want to have to be on set 12 hours a day unless I was producing, directing, or like having a share in that. I don't want to necessarily be working unless I'm really drawn to doing that. Like I think that we all understand now that time is so valuable. Like the content that you consume, the brands that you buy into, like all of that stuff.
You're getting like a sixth sense now.
I can feel you.
She knows when I get little brothery, and I'm like,
I have one more sentence to finish, and then we can do it. I think that like I think what it's taught me is that my time is valuable, even though I am a brand and like it's a very branded space. But at the same time, like you can still be authentic and profit. That's it. It's like you have to all find a way to do it, but you can, and there's enough room for everybody. That's for sure.
Amazing. It has been so lovely to talk to you.
Well, thank you guys. Good luck.
We grew up with all of
I love you guys. Can we get like a pic? Let me come around and we can just get a quick picture.
maybe Tornet's like yeah. If you like that video, make sure to like and subscribe.
Subscribe to our Patreon where you get our reactions a week early, uncut before it goes to YouTube.
You can book us on Cameo, where you can make Hannah sing happy birthday.
I will not be singing happy birthday.
You can ask us to say hello, a small reaction request, or make Hannah sing happy birthday.
Our merch store is now up with brand new designs coming, as well as our old designs brought to you by my Manic Episodes. Thank you for that.
Make sure to check out our OnlyFans.
Oh my god! Subscribe to our OnlyFans for a different side of fandom reactions.
And be sure to follow our Twitter and Instagram at FandomReactGirls for daily updates.